Peace, this is King Noble Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to respond to young Pharaoh's attack or expose on Dr. Umar Johnson. I got to touch on that. What I find interesting is that the information that young Pharaoh pondered, he did a thorough analysis of that documentation, the information that was available. That was an excellent analysis, very critical, and he tied some things together and made some very good correlations in order to make his point. And I think his point was very well made, but it's something that he overlooked, that a lot of people in the conscious community overlook, and a lot of Umar Johnson haters overlook. And I want to touch on that in this video. And just to do that, I'll say hypothetically, let's just say that Dr. Umar Johnson is some type of a fraud. I'll just take that. Let's just say hypothetically. Let's just say he was a fraud, that he was using some type of fraudulent tactics, that he was making himself appear to be something that he wasn't. He presented himself to have credentials that he didn't. Having a license or being a clinical psychologist at some particular point. Let's just say he did. Say Dr. Umar Johnson was and is a fraud. Now what? What you all overlook, the Umar haters and many people in the black conscious community that's against Dr. Umar Johnson, what you overlook is the by any means necessary clause. Fraud is on that list. Committing fraud is on that list. By any means necessary clause. What is that? What is the by any means necessary clause? For me to elaborate on that, I'll first break down the Dr. Umar Johnson situation. If Dr. Umar Johnson was and is a fraud, then that would mean he's not a spook that's set by the door, that he's pretending to be a spook that's set by the door. Meaning that he has an agenda. See, a spook that's set by the door could be conscious and could do some good, and ultimately they can have an agenda or utilize that situation in order to work for the advantage of black people. But Umar Johnson would be further than a spook that's set by the door if he did not have the credentials that he claimed he has. If he didn't even have permission to be at that door, he would now be at the level of an infiltrator, a covert operator for the black Pan-Africanist, black nationalist conscious community. That he was an overt and covert operator at the same time. He was overt because he's putting his message out, letting you know what time it is, letting you know about the system, not biting his tongue, not pussyfooting or cutting any corners. He was overt. But he was covert because he was somebody else pretending to be somebody else. That he's really just a Pan-African black nationalist, that he's not a psychologist at all, or give a fuck about psychology or any of that white supremacy. But he used those credentials and played up the credentials that he had in order to infiltrate the black intelligentsia, the black petty bourgeois, that they would have never listened to him. Some people who would have never listened to him or never paid any attention to him unless he had those credentials. And he knew that it was certain black people that he wouldn't be able to save, certain children, black children, labeled with ADHD and special ed, behavioral disabilities, that he would not have been able to save unless he presented those credentials, and unless he knew how to infiltrate the black intelligentsia. He wouldn't have been able to save those people. So he played up his credentials and he committed fraud by any means necessary to go in there and save as many black people as he could and get black people to listen to him that would have never listened to him. The conscious community is saying, well, we don't care what credentials he had. We would listen to him anyway, just like we listened to John Henry Clark. He didn't need no credentials for the black conscious community to hear him. But did he need credentials for black institutionalized Negroes to listen to him? And how many black institutionalized Negroes did he save or expose to the truth by playing up the credentials that he had? You saying it's fraud. I'm saying it's by any means necessary. It's some people within the institutions of white supremacy, psychology institutions, the educational institutions, all of their institutions, that need to wake up, that need to be saved, that need a voice, that need somebody to stand up for them. And they need black Pan-African revolutionary black nationalists to be able to infiltrate these different organizations and institutions in order to reach those people. And they have to present themselves in ways so that those people will listen to them. And sometimes the way they present themselves could be considered fraudulent because they have to play up whoever they are and whatever little piece of paper they have. They have to play it up to get those people to listen to them. So if Dr. Umar Johnson was trying to wake up black people by any means necessary, and not just black people within the conscious community, but black people within the institutions of white supremacy, he was trying to wake them up. And he helped a lot of people. Did he use fraud to do it? You say he did. I say, what if he did? That means he was willing to wake black people up within the institutions of white supremacy by any means necessary, even if it means committing fraud. Even if it means him getting fines and losing his license or losing his opportunity to ever be a licensed psychologist. Even if it meant him being embarrassed and humiliated before the entire black community, that the well-beingness of that one black person that was mislabeled, that was prescribed medications that didn't apply to them, if it was to bring a peace of mind to that one single black mother who was distraught and didn't know what to do because of the categorizations and the labels that was put upon her child, that he was able to bring peace to that household and save households and reclassify young black boys to give them an opportunity in the future. If he had to commit fraud to do that, then I say he falls under the by any means necessary clause. And young Pharaoh, you said you don't care whether he's licensed or unlicensed because you don't own white supremacy. You just want to make sure that he's telling the truth to you, that he's presenting who he is to you correctly. Well, I'm here to say that you don't matter whether he presented the credentials to you or not, because it was not for you. Because you know everything any goddamn way. It was for the people who needed to learn and hear what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say. That those credentials needed to be presented to them. And for him to get in those doors and get to those people, he may have had to commit what you may consider fraud. I don't know if he did or not. I'm just not that much into white supremacy to know what you have a license and a not license to do. I'm not no master at white supremacy or Negro permission. The Negro permission system. I lost track of it. So according to you, you say he's a fraud. I say if he was helping black people and getting indoors to reach black people with a revolutionary message in regards to their future, their psychology, their well-beingness, their community, and their nation, I say if he was able to get to those doors and reach those people by any means necessary, he's still our champion. He's still our prince of Pan-Africanism. By any means necessary. I don't care how you save black people. I don't care how you save the black nation. I don't care how you reach them. By any means necessary. The object was helping black people. The object was helping single black mothers. The object was helping young boys without a father. The object was helping children trapped inside of the institutions of white supremacy and mislabeled, having their future and their minds and their consciousness being destroyed and being funneled down the prison to pipeline. The prison, the school to prison pipeline, or whatever, college to prison pipeline, whatever you want to call it. That was the objective, to help and save young black boys and young black girls within the institution of white supremacy. I don't care how he did it, by whatever means necessary. If he had to play up his credentials, I don't give a goddamn. I just care about the people he reached, the people he helped, and the people he saved. Now, in the end, he may not be a fraud. His credentials might pan out. That's between him. That argument is actually between him and the institutions of white supremacy, of how they want to perceive what he did, and did he take money for this, and did he practice this. That's up to them. What I care about is the black people that he helped. And if he put himself on the line to help black people, if he committed fraud to help black people, I ain't got no problem with him, man. I ain't got no problem with him. People all the time do shit. They sell drugs to help black people. According to them, they sold drugs to go to Egypt. You follow? People do all type of things. Rob banks back in the 60s and 70s to help black people. They do all type of things, and they say it's under the auspices of helping black people. Hell, many of you all are under white supremacy, under the auspices of helping black people. So if he had to commit fraud to help black people, black supremacy, man. Long live Dr. Umar Johnson.